A very good afternoon to all the scholars. I am Apeksha Prajapati from Nirmala College, Ranchi, India. My topic of presentation is Distributed Denial of Service Attack, a mathematical analysis with time delay. My discussion is grounded on using epidemic models to understand DDoS attack. I will explain how these models initially used in epidemiology offer insights into the spread of these cyber threats. I will navigate through the roadmap on using epidemic models to comprehend DDoS attack. I will explore how this methodology sheds light on their propagation and mitigation. To start, let's discuss the methodology behind applying epidemic models to DDoS attack. It involves classifying system into susceptible, infected, and recovered categories, reflecting disease spread dynamics. Next, I will discuss the variable and parameters influencing the spread. In understanding DDoS propagation, equilibrium points and reproduction number are very important tools. I will also discuss the simulation, conclusion, and references. Just like too many cars clogging a route, a DDoS attack overwhelms a website or online services with too much traffic. This flood of traffic is not normal people trying to access the site. Instead, it is a flood of requests sent by computers controlled by a hacker. Or we can say that a distributed denial of service attack is defined as a malicious attempt to interrupt the smooth functioning of any network, services, or a website. And we have the Cisco annual report from 2018 to 23. The statistics says in 2019 the DDoS attacks was around 7.9 million, and now in 2023 it's around 15.4 million. Overall, more than 100% increase in DDoS attacks. Now, the question arises, why DDoS attack is growing so fast? These attacks have been growing because our world is now more connected than ever. More people are using the internet for everything from shopping to entertainment to work. As we rely more on online services, hackers have found more ways to disrupt them, causing chaos and sometimes financial losses for the targeted organization. Moreover, with more devices connected to the internet, hackers have a larger pool of devices they can potentially control and use to launch these attacks. Also, as technology advances, hackers find new and more sophisticated ways to coordinate and carry out these attacks, making them more powerful and difficult to defend against. Now, the research gap. There are various research gaps while I studied the literatures, and few of them are. Now I will both on a journey to uncover crucial research gaps in comprehending and mitigating DDoS attack, exploring how various factors influence their occurrence and impacts. One vital gap lies in understanding device interaction in DDoS attack. With the propagation of interconnecting devices, the attack surface has expanded. Investigating how these devices interact and potentially amplifying DDoS attack is a crucial step in developing effective defense mechanisms. Next is time delay. Time delay plays a key role in network security, especially in preventing DDoS attack. Research focusing on the impact of time delays is identifying and mitigating these attacks is an ongoing necessity. Investigating into how delay affect detection and response time can fortify network defenses. Another interesting research area involves sequential attacks patterns in DDoS incidents. Understanding these attacks unfold and propagate through networks using epidemic models can reveal patterns aiding in predicting future attacks. And lastly, the development of innovative approaches utilizing epidemic model to mitigate the impact of DDoS attacks is a frontier awaiting exploration, crafting novel strategies based on these models to minimize disruption and effectively recover from attacks is essential in strengthening cybersecurity defenses. These research gaps form the foundation for advancing our understanding and defense against DDoS attacks. Implementing of these challenges open doors to new solution and collaboration that can fortify our digital infrastructure against evolving cyber threats. What is infectious disease model? This model provides information which can be used to understand transmission and compare the control options. SIR model is a basic infectious disease model invented by McHenry in 1927, and this model has three different compartments: susceptible, infectious, and recovered. Utilizes differential equation to represent the rate of change. Rate of change in susceptible, rate of change in infectious, and rate of change in recovered. And it also describes how the disease is spread through interaction between the population classes, like different classes in susceptible or infectious, and use mathematics to describe transmission and evaluate control. That is a more important thing, how we can evaluate control. Let's explain what is SIR model. Suppose there is a population where everyone is not infected yet. That means everyone starts from a susceptible population. Then these people are unwell and can infect other. That means that disease transmission has already occurred and few of them are now infected. And people recover and become immune to the infection and they are now at recovered class. Now after that we need to make assumptions, and these are the differential equation which leads susceptible, infected and recovered classes. We have ds by dt equal to minus bsi, at ds by dt is rate of change of s, or we can say that what is the change in susceptible class with respect to time. Similarly, di by dt is beta si minus eta I, where eta is the recovery, and dr by dt equal to eta I. There are some initial conditions. Initially, few of them are susceptible, those are S naught. Few of them are infectious, those are I naught, and R naught are recovered. And this is the methodology of our model. First, we will formulate a model with taking variables and parameters. We do stability analysis by finding equilibrium points and reproduction number. We simulate the models using MATLAB OD45, and we calibrate our model with analysis and adjustment of parameters. And finally, the scenario analysis with different parameters and compare those simulation, and will then interpret. And this is our proposed model where the total population is divided into, there are actually two networks. First one is targeted network and the second one is attacking network. Targeted network is divided into four different classes: susceptible, exposed, infectious and recovered. And similarly, the attacking network, where the attackers are there, are divided into two different classes: susceptible and infectious. In attacking network, where beta is the attack rate, in a targeted network, alpha is the transition rate from exposed to infectious, eta is the recovery rate, similarly mu is the natural crash rate, d is the crash rate due to attack, and xi is the rate where the nodes losing their immunity. And similarly, the parameters for attackers network, beta is the attacking rate again, or infectivity contact rate we can say, b is the birth rate, mu is the natural crash rate, and mu1 is the crash rate due to attack. The targeted population has different classes. I have already explained, and these are the better explanation. Susceptible class represent the computer in the targeted network that are vulnerable to attack. Exposed are those computers that have been attacked, but they are in the process of being infected. Infected are those computers or nodes already infected and they are transmitted the infection to the other nodes. And in attackers population, SA is the susceptible nodes. It represent the attackers who have not yet initiated an attack but again capable of initiating an attack. IA is attackers who are already actively launching attacks. And here the differential equations is rate of change of ds by rate of change of s with respect to time, rate of change of e, rate of change of I, rate of change of R, and similarly rate of change of SA, rate of change of IA. These six equations combinedly represent the targeted network and attacking network. And implementing time delay, the equation is transformed into this form. Now we study what is the equilibrium point. First the question arises, why we study equilibrium point? The equilibrium points led to study the behavior of the dynamical system, and it also shows the long-term behavior of the different state. The security measure can achieve based on the long-term performance. After we will find the attack-free equilibrium for the already derived equations, and finding to finding equilibrium point, we put all the equations to 0, and then we solve all the equation, and the value of SA, IA, SE, IR gives the equilibrium points. Attack-free equilibrium point is the equilibrium point where the infections are 0. See, here IA is 0 and I is 0. And we have this value as an attack-free equilibrium. Endemic equilibrium where the attack persists. So this is the endemic equilibrium point. And next is the reproduction number. It gives the idea of how many devices are likely to be infected from one device in DDoS attack. It is defined as expected number of infection arises by one infected case in a population where all individuals are susceptible to infection. Figure we can in the figure we can understand that this is a system which are infecting the infection or viruses or malicious codes to the other system. Here the reproduction number is 4. Why? Because one system is capable of spreading the infection to 1, 2, 3, 4 system. And when R naught is greater than 1 means infection will grow. R naught equal to 1 means infection will remain constant, and R naught less than 1 means infection should die out. So to mitigate from any attack or to survive from any infection, we have to make R naught less than 1. And for the system, we have already derived the reproduction number for targeted network is alpha beta S naught upon alpha plus mu D plus mu plus eta. And for attackers network, the reproduction number is RA, which beta SA upon mu plus mu A. And the reproduction number or square of the reproduction number for overall the system is the multiplication of, that is the product of RA and RT. Now the simulation parts come. Before simulation, I have done a stability analysis of the system, but under stability analysis, we have Jacobian, we have Lipnov, and we did global stability of attack-free and endemic equilibrium. But that is too complicated to explain here, so I directly come into simulation part. Figure 3 shows the behavior of the system with respect to time. It can be seen that 80% nodes of the targeted network are under attack by the attackers, and 50% of them are totally communicable or infectious. In this case, the attackers launches a successful attack in the targeted network. Figure 4 explain the convergence of trajectories from initial conditions to the some endemic equilibrium point. It indicates the global stability of this point. No matter how you were started, we are all going into a specific point after a certain time. This global stability of the endemic equilibrium point signifies that in the long run, the disease tends to persist in a certain level within the population, regardless of the initial condition or how the epidemic initially unfolds. It helps in understanding that certain conditions or parameters maintain the disease at a constant prevalence within the community. Similarly, figure 5 shows that behavior of different class with respect to time. Hardly 2% nodes are under attack in this case, so the attacker could not be able to launch a successful attack. So we can say that this simulation is showing the unsuccessful attack scenario. Next is the figure 6. In this scenario, various trajectory on this graph start from a different initial condition. Look, we are at different initial condition indicating different starting points for attack spread. However, as time grows, these trajectory gradually move towards and settle around here. And this is the attack free equilibrium point. Despite their diverse starting position, these trajectory represent different scenarios of attack is spread based on varying initial condition. Ultimately converges into a single point, the attack free equilibrium point. This convergence illustrates that regardless of the initial condition, the system tends to move towards and stabilize at this point. This global stability of attack free equilibrium point suggests that at certain conditions or parameter consistently led the system towards the state where the attack is eliminated, highlighting the resilience of the model towards reaching and maintaining attack-free scenario. Next is figure 7. Figure 7 shows the behavior of infectious and exposed class with time for different value of time delay. A longer time delay in exposed class shows down the transition between exposure to active infection. This delay acts as a protective measure, giving network defenses more time to detect, mitigate, or defend against the attack before it spreads further. It implies that longer time delay provides a shorter buffer or window for network security measure to intervene, results in fewer nodes being successfully targeted or compromised by the attack. Understanding these dynamics helps in devising strategies to mitigate the attack's impact by manipulating parameters like time delay, offering insights into how optimize defenses and minimize the attack effectiveness. And next is the conclusion. The simulation reveals that the Next is the conclusion. The simulation reveals a spectrum of both successful and unsuccessful scenarios of DDoS attack, shedding light on critical insights into effective defense strategies. The study findings emphasize the pivotal role of maximizing the delay in the exposed class. This delay significantly correlates with a smaller number of nodes being targeted during DDoS attack in various scenarios. Real-time monitoring emerges as a potent strategy by closely tracking node progress. Network gain the ability to swiftly identify DDoS attacks progression. Prompt isolation of the impacted network segment become a crucial defense effective, threatening the attacks spread and mitigating the impact. This work indicates that implementing a constant latent delay in exposed class can reduce the intensity of the attack and inclusion of the delay into the network security architecture can be a good preventive measures. And future works uh, includes, we can analyze the sequential attack patterns by studying how DDoS epidemic models can adjust to different attack patterns. That changes over time can help to understand DDoS attack closely and help in developing more efficient strategies. One promising avenues lies in analyzing behavior of the attackers. In this context, DDoS epidemic models behavior analysis can help to develop more focused and effective tactics. And finally, the assessment of susceptibility or vulnerability of for the Internet of Things. This model can be expanded for the validation of real data. The real data validation would be one of the more future work, and these are the differences. Thank you.